welcome to Watermelon Living. So we know that it's January and everyone's made their New Year's resolutions or made goals for this year. So I wanted to share with all of you some of the tips and tricks that I've done to help me achieve my goals. So the first step is to make your goal. Make sure that you have a SMART goal. I know some of you have already made those goals or resolutions, but a SMART goal doesn't mean that it's an intelligent goal. It just means that it is specific, it is measurable, it's achievable, it's realistic, and that your goal is time-based. For the time-based portion, a lot of people have by the end of the year. So we'll kind of go ahead and say your time-based part's already there. So normally if you're having an issue trying to figure out what goals to make, if you haven't made your goals already, because it's never too late, you could always start at any time you could start at any time to do your goals. So some of the categories that I would say would be, the first one of course is fitness. Everyone wants to be healthy. The second one will be any self-improvements as reading, doing more podcasts, not procrastinating, things like that. The third one would be family. The fourth one is something to do with work. And then the fifth one is financial goals. So those are kind of the 5 things that if, say, you don't know what to make goals for, those are 5 categories you can kind of think of. How do I want to improve my life this year in those 5 categories? So the first thing that I said was make your goals and also make sure to keep them in front of you. So making your goal, making a SMART goal specific, I'll use an example, losing weight. Is that specific? Not really. How much weight do you want to lose? So let's say you want to lose 20 pounds. By the end of the year, there's my specific and time base. And measuring, you said 20 pounds, so you have something to measure. Your weight is what is measurable. And so you have your measurable. Is it achievable, attainable? Is it realistic? So say, that 20 pounds depends on you, really. Is your goal, this is something that I found online, that your goal must inspire motivation, not discourage. So is losing 20 pounds achievable for you? Is this something that's going to discourage you? And this is something that you could tweak for sure. Say in the beginning of the year, you say, I want to lose 30 pounds. But as you're getting closer and closer to the end of the year and you're gauging your progress, then you can see this might not have been a realistic goal. Let me change it to 20 pounds because I know that if I continue to work hard, I can reach 20 pounds. And maybe next year you can add the additional 10 pounds to your, as a goal to make it in the end your 30 pounds. So you have your specific 20 pounds, you have your measurable, which is your weight, you have your it's achievable and it's realistic and it's by the end of the year. So you have your goal, and I kind of already gave you some categories as to how to make your goals if you don't already have them. And so what are you going to do to measure them? So pretty much weight. You're going to weigh yourself, okay? So it's 20 pounds by the end of the year, something realistic, maybe 2 pounds a month. And so you could even break it down even further to 1 pound every 2 weeks. So you can weigh yourself every 2 weeks and then see, have you lost a pound? Are you on the right track? So that number 2 is, how are you going to measure them? And some other things you could even do even further in your SMART goal is, I am going to lose 20 pounds by the end of the year. I will lose 2 pounds per month, 1 pound every 2 weeks by exercising every day, eating less than 1,400 calories a day. And then that way, these are things you can track. So that's number 3, is track your progress. So you're weighing yourself every 2 weeks. And so how can you remember where you started to see how your progress is going? So for me, I am a big believer of writing things down. So this right here is my traveler's notebook. So I have a tab of goals for 2018, and I actually have a fitness thing in one of my notebooks where I will be tracking my weight. I will also be taking my measurements, and then I have a monthly insert that is my bullet journal that I will be tracking whether or not I exercised every day, my calorie intake. So that is how I am tracking my progress. And so number 4 is to reflect on the progress. Actually, go back to 3, tracking your progress. Some people may actually use like the Fitbit app or MyFitnessPal or some other app to help you track your progress. So if you're like me, old school, I love writing things down, you can do that. That's what works best for me. Or you can use your apps. That's something that constantly notifying you, hey, you need to go work out. Hey, you're getting close to your calorie intake, because I use my MyFitnessPal to track my calorie intake. So those are ways that you can track your progress. And you have to be consistent with it, because if you don't track your progress consistently, then you lose that information and data to do number 4, which is reflect on your progress. So reflecting on your progress, the way that I do it is I look at it every month. And that way I can see, okay, have I lost my 2 pounds, and am I on the right track to obtaining my goal by the end of the year? And then that way I can see, have I been exercising every day? Have I been sticking to my new, lifestyle change? And that way, by using all the information that I've tracked, I can reflect on my progress. And then say if I don't see that I'm going to be hitting that goal, or I'm on track to get that goal, then what I do for number 5 is make improvements. So not changes. So that's the thing. It's you're not really making changes. You're making improvements to what you're doing. If you look at it that way, have a positive connotation to it, versus changes, which normally a change is something new, something different, which some people don't like change. So that has a negative connotation to it. If you could see that you're making improvements to yourself, improvements to your lifestyle, then these are positive ways of thinking. And so that's number 5. So make any necessary improvements. So let's say that I'm not hitting my 1,400 calorie goal. I can look back to see what I'm eating. I can improve my diet by making different improvements to say I'm eating too many carbs. So then maybe I should improve it by replacing those carbs with vegetables, so that can make sure that I'm hitting my 1,400 calorie goal. I am exercising every day, but I'm not seeing the improvements. I'm not seeing me reach the 2-pound weight loss. So maybe instead of doing 30 minutes, I can improve it by increasing my exercise to 45 minutes, or improving the type of exercise that I'm doing. Maybe the exercise program that I'm using isn't working for me, so maybe I'll make the improvement of tweaking it here or there. So that's how you can make improvements to help you reach your goal. So that's why tracking your progress is very important. So then that way you can make the appropriate improvements to make sure you're reaching your goal. And then number 6 is continue moving forward. Don't let things discourage you. Based off of the improvements that you've said, go ahead and move forward into the next month. And then that way you can then make the appropriate improvements to your lifestyle to make sure that you're hitting, you're on track for that goal. So, it works the same way with any financial goals. One thing that you can do, say if you want to save $1,000 by the end of the year. Let's go and make the SMART goal. You want to increase your savings. Okay, that's not a SMART goal, so how can we make it SMART? You can make it, how much do you want to save? Let's say I want to save $1,000 by the end of the year. You can break it down into each month, and then you can break that down into each paycheck that you get. Then that way it's so much more realistic and attainable for you. You can look to see, okay, do I even have that much money so that I could save $1,000 by the end of the year? And that helps you gauge if it's achievable and realistic. Because remember, your goals must challenge you. Saving $500 is easy. You could do that, in, let's say that's easy for you. You might want to increase it a little bit more to where it's a little bit more challenging but still achievable, because in the end you want to have that positive aspect or outcome. You want to have that positive outcome at the end of the year. And that satisfaction of, I did this, I actually said what I was going to do. So you have your SMART goal, and it's measurable by the amounts, and then how are you going to track it? How are you going to reflect on the progress? What if you're not saving what you need to save each month? It's either you need to readjust your goal, or you're spending it. Say that you want to save it at the end of the month, but let's say you're spending it before you even get there. Well, you can make the improvement of, how about you save the money in the beginning of the month before you even had any expenses? That way you don't eat into your savings, your extra income where you can save. So those are improvements that you can make, and then move forward with it. Make sure that you carry those improvements into the next month. So hopefully this helped you be successful for the end of the year. If there's any questions or anything, feel free to leave those down below. And if you're not part of the Watermelon Living family, make sure to subscribe. And I will, one thing that I was kind of thinking of doing is letting you all know how I'm doing with my progress for my goals. So at the end of the, so I will let you all know on my progress and my reflection, and let you all know how everything else is going. Alrighty, my lovelies, so I hope this video has helped you. It's set you on the right path for being successful. And if there's any other videos that you'd like to see, feel free to let me know. And so hopefully this new year fills you with love and joy, and I will see you all later. Bye, my lovelies.